Before legends like Mayweather and Tyson made millions and global headlines, there was a different kind of fighter, one who fought not for fame or fortune, but for pure war. He was known as Marvelous Marvin Hagler, a name forged through relentless discipline and raw grit. Born in Newark, New Jersey, during turbulent times, Marvin's early life was marked by hardship. His family fled violence, moving to Brockton, Massachusetts, where Marvin discovered boxing not in posh gyms, but through pain and struggle. A street fight lost led him to brothers Pat and Goody Petronelli's gym, where he transformed from a kid just surviving to a fighter carving a path out of poverty and obscurity. Hagler trained in ways that many of today's boxers would find impossible, pushing the limits of human endurance and mental strength, rising through the ranks with unmatched determination. His story is a compelling narrative of perseverance against the odds, a tale that deserves to be told. The origin of Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Born in Newark, New Jersey, during a time of turmoil, Marvin Hagler's early years were marked by hardship and strife. The backdrop of his childhood was painted by broken windows, chaotic streets, and a community grappling with unrest. In the wake of the 1967 riots, his family was forced to flee, seeking a safer environment in Brockton, Massachusetts. However, this new beginning did not erase the struggles that shadowed him. In Brockton, young Marvin found himself facing a new battle. He discovered boxing not in upscale gyms, but on the gritty streets. Instead of a glamorous environment, he was thrust into the harshness of life. Marvin's journey into the sport began earnestly after a tough street fight left him bruised and beaten. It was then he wandered into a small boxing gym. This gym, run by brothers Pat and Goody Petronelli, became the catalyst for his transformation. No longer was he just another kid trying to survive, but a determined fighter ready to carve a path out of poverty. Hagler's training regime was rigorous, often solitary, pushing him to his limits, where he honed his skills and forged his legendary reputation. In those early days, he learned not just how to fight, but how to embrace suffering, to turn pain into power. His relentless commitment to boxing would set the stage for an incredible career, where his name would not only become synonymous with excellence in the ring, but also carry the weight of his tumultuous journey. The Spartan lifestyle of training. Marvelous Marvin Hagler's training regimen was nothing short of a Spartan lifestyle. It was a commitment to the grind that few could comprehend. Unlike modern fighters, who enjoy the luxuries of advanced training facilities and personal trainers, Hagler embraced a life of solitude and hardship. His camping trips in Provincetown, Massachusetts, became a self-imposed exile, where he was cut off from distractions, family, and friends for weeks at a time, training relentlessly in a bare-bones environment. Each morning would find him rising before dawn, lacing up army boots instead of running shoes, as he plunged into the cold air, setting out for punishing runs over the steep, winding hills of Cape Cod. These were not casual jogs, but rather grueling 5 to 7 mile marches through snow, rain, and heat, where the only company he had was the harnessing of purpose that drove him forward. Hagler understood that comfort breeds complacency, so he sought discomfort, replacing soft beds with harder mattresses, rejecting the comforts of life to build mental toughness. Sparring sessions were equally brutal, as he faced multiple fresh opponents, refusing to step out of the ring until exhaustion forced trainers to pull him. For Hagler, training was war, a battlefield where he sharpened his skills and mental fortitude in a way few modern athletes could imagine. Every aspect of his lifestyle was engineered towards one purpose: becoming the best, combating fear, and proving that greatness demands sacrifice, many sacrifices. Road work like a soldier marching to battle. Marvin Hagler's road work was not just a training session, but a statement, a declaration of his relentless dedication to boxing. He trained before dawn, often rising at 5:30 a.m., embracing the cold air with a steely resolve. No modern conveniences, no music blaring in his ears. It was just him, his thoughts, and the sound of his boots hitting the pavement. Dressed in combat-style army boots, he would cover 5 to 7 miles, navigating the steep, winding roads of Cape Cod. His focus was unwavering, the discomfort of the elements pushing him further into his mental fortitude. Hagler welcomed the challenge, whether faced with snow, rain, or blazing heat, because, to him, each mile was a testament to his strength. Most fighters today might shy away from such grueling conditions, opting to delay their runs at the first sign of poor weather. Hagler, however, saw these conditions as training, an opportunity to harden his resolve. He understood discomfort wasn't merely an obstacle. It was part of the path to greatness. His training was a boot camp for the mind and body. Hagler's philosophy was simple. If he could endure the harshest of conditions, he could dominate any opponent in the ring. Each moment spent running alone was another step towards his goal of becoming a champion. Today's fighters often train with high-tech gadgets and under optimal conditions, but Hagler thrived in the raw, unfiltered reality of hard work. Each run was a soldier marching into battle, preparing not just his body, but also fortifying his spirit for the wars that lay ahead in the squared circle. Sparring is war, not practice. For Hagler, sparring was more than just a routine. It was pure warfare, a crucible where he tested his limits and sharpened his skills. Unlike today's fighters, who often treat sparring sessions as technical drills, Marvin approached it with a relentless mindset. Each round in the ring was a battle, every opponent a foe to conquer. He didn't step into the ring to play or practice. He stepped in to engage in combat and exert dominance. In his training camps, Hagler faced multiple fresh sparring partners, rotating them in and out and pushing his body to its limits. While others might have taken breaks or played it safe after a round, Marvin saw every exhausting minute as an opportunity to prove something. He thrived under pressure and pain, proving that he could still fight fiercely, even when he was drained. This was not just about skill, it was about survival and supremacy. The intensity was palpable, and the atmosphere was charged. For Hagler, sparring was not a casual affair. It was a test of willpower and tenacity, where the stakes were high. His approach transformed every session into a brutal encounter, where he aimed to overwhelm and intimidate. They often say that the ring reveals a fighter's true character, and for Hagler, it was where he found his identity. In those moments, he transcended the role of a boxer, becoming an embodiment of the warrior spirit, where every punch mattered and every round was a step closer to greatness. Mental toughness in silence and solitude. In the world of boxing, mental toughness is crucial, especially for fighters like Marvin Hagler, who thrived in solitude. While many modern athletes are constantly surrounded by distractions, social media, and noise, Hagler found strength in silence, embracing the stillness as a training tool. For him, this solitude wasn't merely a preference. It was a necessity, a way to hone his focus and build his mental fortitude. In those quiet moments, he visualized every round, every punch, reinforcing his resolve to dominate the ring. Alone with his thoughts, he processed the pain, doubts, and fears that accompany the sport, turning isolation into a sanctuary for his mind. This mental training allowed him to connect with a deeper sense of purpose, enabling him to confront challenges head-on, without the external noise that typically overwhelms many others. Silence became a friend, revealing insights that the constant clatter of life masked. This approach nurtured his ability to endure, to push through discomfort, and to rise above adversity. In a modern landscape where fighters often rely on teams and technology, Hagler's style shows that true mental toughness can flourish in isolation. It's about using silence, not just as an escape. Instead, it becomes a powerful space for reflection, where one can mentally prepare for the battles that lie ahead. This kind of focus, developed through solitude, makes a fighter not just technically skilled, but mentally untouchable. After all, in boxing, as in life, the greatest battles are often fought within oneself, in the silence of one's own thoughts. Simple but effective nutrition. Marvin Hagler didn't need a team of nutritionists or a color-coded meal plan. He believed in keeping things straightforward. His diet was simple, no frills, just fuel. Lots of protein, clean carbs, fresh vegetables, and water were his staples, providing him the energy he needed to train hard, stay strong, and fight effectively. Pat Petronelli, his trainer, would cook meals himself, ensuring Marvin had what he needed without any distractions or unnecessary additives. It was nothing fancy or trendy. Steak, chicken, fish, potatoes, rice, a pile of greens, and of course, water. This simple approach allowed Marvin to focus on his craft without getting bogged down by complicated dietary trends or superfoods, which often overpromise and underdeliver. Other fighters today may lean on metabolic tests, supplement stacks, and intricate meal timing strategies, but for Marvin, it was about real food for a real fight. This no-nonsense approach kept him sharp and ready for the rigorous demands of training. He didn't obsess over macros or get lost in smoothie fads with 15 ingredients thrown in. Instead, he embraced what worked without the noise. Hagler's philosophy was uncomplicated. Eat what fuels your fire, what makes you mean, and gets you ready to step into the ring. This raw, honest mentality towards nutrition helped carve out an incredible champion, showing that sometimes simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication. By focusing on the essentials, Marvin laid the groundwork for his legendary status, proving that what you consume can be as powerful as the punches you throw. Overcoming rejection and roadblocks. Facing rejection and roadblocks was a significant part of Marvin Hagler's journey. It helped shape him into the fighter he became. Growing up in Newark, New Jersey, Hagler witnessed violence and civil unrest firsthand, which forced his family to flee for safety. This upheaval instilled in him a relentless drive to succeed, even when the odds were stacked against him. As an aspiring boxer, Marvin encountered constant rejections from promoters who were unwilling to showcase a southpaw, black fighter, yet he never allowed that to deter him. Joe Frazier once warned him early in his career, "Marvin, you got 3 strikes against you. You're black, you're a southpaw, and you're too good for your own good." Instead of succumbing to despair, Hagler used this discouragement as fuel for his fire. Every early morning run, every grueling sparring session, and every setback became a stepping stone toward proving his worth, showing the boxing world that he belonged, that he could compete with the best of them. Each moment of adversity did not break him, it built him. Marvin understood that the road to greatness was littered with challenges. He approached each obstacle with determination, ingraining in himself the principle that rejection was simply a part of the process, not a reflection of his talent. Through sheer persistence, he fought in various opponents' backyards, from Philadelphia to Vegas, earning respect and recognition along the way. Ultimately, Hagler's ability to convert rejection into motivation made him one of boxing's all-time greats. Legacy and lessons from Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler's legacy transcends the boxing ring, embodying the spirit of relentless determination. His journey from a kid in Newark, New Jersey, to an undefeated middleweight champion serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of hard work and grit. Hagler trained not just physically, but mentally, isolating himself to create a warrior's mindset. This monk-like discipline set him apart in an age where distractions abound, proving that greatness is earned, not given. Modern fighters could learn invaluable lessons from Hagler's approach, as he embraced suffering as a necessary component of success. Hagler's straightforward diet, devoid of trends, focused solely on fueling his body for combat, rejecting external validation through luxury. His commitment to early morning runs, often in harsh conditions, highlighted a mindset that is increasingly rare today, where convenience often trumps sacrifice. Moreover, Hagler's relentless pursuit to prove himself, despite facing systemic challenges, showcases a resilience that requires introspection in today's competitive landscape. He fought not only opponents, but also societal hurdles, consistently emerging stronger. The essence of his training taught us that true champions are forged through discomfort, pushing beyond limits. His legacy endures, reminding us that the principles of hard work, integrity, and relentless spirit are timeless. As we navigate our own paths, whether in sports, business, or personal endeavors, Hagler's example urges us to outwork everyone, embrace challenges, and relentlessly chase our dreams. Ultimately, Marvin Hagler's life teaches that through discipline, sacrifice, and unwavering dedication, we can all leave a mark worth remembering. Marvin Hagler's journey was more than boxing. It was a testament to relentless discipline and hunger. In an age of instant gratification and endless distractions, his Spartan approach reminds us that true greatness isn't given. It's earned through sacrifice, focus, and a willingness to suffer when no one is watching. Hagler exemplified what it means to chase a dream relentlessly and transformed adversity into strength. Each 3 a.m. run was a reminder. Each punch he threw in the ring was a battle cry against his past, and each title defense was a declaration of his unyielding spirit. From his difficult beginnings in Newark to his many challenges in Brockton, he fought not just opponents, but also the systemic barriers in his way. His story serves as a blueprint for those aiming to achieve greatness, whether in sports, business, or life itself. It's a challenge to push past comfort zones, to embrace the grind, and to recognize that success requires effort beyond the ordinary. The legacy of Hagler is not only that of a champion in the ring, but also of a fighter in life who didn't just dream, but lived his dreams, forged through sweat and tears. His dedication and commitment remain an inspiring lesson for all generations. In conclusion, as we reflect on the audacity of Hagler's methods, it forces us to assess our own journeys and consider, are we willing to pay the price for success? The world should remember that true champions don't just exist in trophies, but in the heart of those who dare to fight against the odds.